33,000. Could be 36,000 because the numbers change. But the truth of the matter is...
Well, anyway, this is my room for as long as it lasts.
Someone else can buy an anti-abomination.
I've been doing videos for YouTube now for about 17 days, but 5 in the last 5 days. And these are some of the little gimmicks that I have that I'm using. Not so little in some case. That shaka weighs about 80 pounds. And these are some of my gimmicks that I have on the table. And this is the wires that I need to create the videos. It's amazing how much crap you need to do, electrical stuff.
I am telling you the truth. The other end of this hole, they think, is in Venezuela. Now, they're not being real specific about that because apparently...
This was a model my dad made me when I was a little kid, showing the human body.
I can't tell you that.
I've had that on my desk since I was... well, I've had it on my desk my whole life, actually.
But I can't do that right now. Now, if things...
Dad, I remember sitting on the floor while he made that when I was about 6 years old.
Let me try to explain this to you from a little bit of a different perspective. What we have here is we have an animal in the White House that can't tell the truth.
That's an old sign from a footbridge that that I actually knocked down when I was a kid. Pretty big deal at the time.
In theory, we're all animals. So,
actually, I pissed off quite a few people. But I did make the real estate value in Howard Beach maintain itself for 30 years. And increased the value of a lot of properties by hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm sure that the city didn't see it like that, but such is life. I got to get that detector out so that I could start doing a video with that. This is an old music box. It's an RCA Radiola 1925 model. Underneath there I got an old drawer set from about 1901. These bookcases are from 1930s, possibly the 20s. They're an old Globe bookcase. And I actually have the matching file cabinet, the old Globe file cabinet right there. That's from the 20s also, 20s or 30s. This was a matching set from a company, this file cabinet. And the bookcases have the same type of top. You could see it, I'm sure. And the glass drawers, they slide in and out. Like so. And then you pick them up and you slide them back in. I only have 2 of the drawers. That's the way it came. And then I have my old roll top desk here. It needs a good cleaning. It needs a dusting. It's clean. I keep it covered, but I opened it up today to do some things. And there's an old Dayrad meter. And there's an old RCA, Philco predictor television set. It's a predictor. It's the 1946 predictor. It actually works too, except you don't get radio waves anymore, so you can't really use it. Not here anyway. My original 1966 Star Trek poster, that thing is 46 years old. 45 years old. And this is a collage of things and places I've been. That's some kelp in California in 1981. Chrissy Oropeza is taking the pictures. And that was my friends from 1981 also. And this is me doing one of the dumbest things I ever did in my life. Climbing down a bluff at Black's Beach, right next to Scripps Oceanographic Institute in California. And that, the frame down that we're going to now, are the people that are getting ready to climb down the bluff, because everybody spaces themselves out at about 100 to 200 feet so they don't interfere with anybody else's concentration. Because in reality, the bluff is 400 or 300 feet high, and it's really it's an interesting climb. If you make a mistake, it's very simple. You make a mistake and you die. No one really ever lives if they fall off that bluff. That's the bluff. I don't remember if it's 400 foot high or 300 feet high. Either way, once you make your first mistake, there's no handrails, there's no ropes, there's nothing. You just fall. You fall right down to the bottom of the ocean. And believe it or not, that little path that you're going to see in the next picture is the path that you start off on from the top of the hill. It's about 3 feet wide, or 2 feet wide in some places, and about 60 feet long, and it slowly goes down. And I fell there and slid 20 feet and stopped 6 inches before the end of the path. That I remember like it was yesterday. Not my friend Bruce's son, and that was me and the chicken. Bruce had a farm in California. This is me playing on the ice. Next to the bridge on 99th Street, the Hawtree Creek Basin Bridge. And this is my 25th birthday, Halloween. I was 25 when I took this picture. On Halloween, we rented a limousine, me and Tommy Godomsky. And we went to several clubs, including Studio 54. That was interesting that day. This is the fellow who had the original hot dog, the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck that he made the airplane that you see on, believe it or not, he made an airplane out of a bus out of an airplane, a 707. And that's me standing in front of the bus with one of my friends from California, and that fellow with the beard is the fellow that made the bus. And that was a fella named Earl had that plane, and Earl and Tommy and I and another fella, we flew out of San Diego and we went to Las Vegas for lunch. And we forgot to put the flaps down on takeoff from Vegas. We forgot to extend the flaps. And we almost ran out of runway. We were pretty screwed. We missed the end of the runway by about 1 inch. I was cranking those flaps like you never. There was a hand crank on the ceiling of that plane, and I had to crank those flaps open. I probably did it in 10 seconds, but it seemed like an hour, because without the flaps we would have crashed. Ah, God, that was funny. And that's a Century plant. in California they grow. And those were my horses when I lived there. That was Buckaroo, and then the other one was a fella that Al down the road had another horse, and him and I used to go horseback riding. And that is me on the ice. Huh. That's me on the ice when I was about 17 years old, by Charles Park. This camera does not have anywhere near the optical zoom that the CX150 Sony had, but it's pretty good. But the Sony would have zoomed in on this. That's interesting. The Sony would have zoomed in on this and saw the scratch marks on the top of the rivet. Now this one you could see the dimples, but not the scratch marks. So actually it's pretty good. That's my old barge. I had a barge and a crane service, and that is the barge dragon.